In the top stories, students resume regular classes as new school year begins. Prime Minister Drew welcomes back Keon High students, and Irishtown Primary School marks the start of the new school year. The details to these stories and more after the break.
At Courts Optical, we've got the perfect combination of style and value just for you. Shop from our wide range of stylish frames, and for a limited time, buy one and get a second pair at 80% off. We've got frames as low as $99. Ask about our affordable credit plans from 3 to 24 months. Make your appointment today at courtsoptical.com. Conditions apply. See in store for details. Courts Optical. Value you can see.
Mosoka, 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 mosoka.
Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Major Newscast. I'm Jason Davis. Students across the Federation returned to classes on Wednesday morning. It was announced that schools are going back to the accustomed 8:25 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. schedule, except on Thursdays when students are dismissed at 2:15 p.m. The schedule was changed to a shift system and hybrid classes during the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic to facilitate the social distancing protocol that was mandated at the time. Our camera team caught teachers at Keon High School meeting their students at the gate with encouraging words written on posters as they made their way to classes. Some students were seen wearing face masks. Minister of Education, the Honorable Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, stated during his back-to-school address that the COVID-19 protocols were updated as the country approaches the endemic stages, causing the wearing of masks to be optional but recommended when in enclosed spaces. Other protocols stipulated included the sanitization of hands when entering any institution, and students and teachers who are experiencing flu-like symptoms should seek the help of a medical professional before their return to campus. The key message guiding the 2022-2023 academic year is "Excellence is not a skill, it is an attitude," by Ralph Marston. Meanwhile, the faculty and staff rolled out a welcome reception for the new and returning students of Keon High School as the 2022-2023 academic year officially got underway on Wednesday. The welcoming was capped off with a special visit by Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, the elected parliamentary representative for the area. It was the first school Dr. Drew visited since assuming the post of Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis. In his brief remarks, the Prime Minister informed the students of a number of decisions taken by his administration that will enhance the delivery of education across St. Kitts and Nevis.
I want you to know that CFBC is now absolutely free for all of you. You don't have to pay for CFBC. Let me see all of you who want to participate again in the laptop program. We will once again reintroduce the laptop program and make sure that all of you have access to a device if you don't have. We will also make sure that those who don't have internet at home, that we will help you to get internet at home, because all of you must be connected to the internet.
Prime Minister Drew also noted that his administration's goal is to ensure that there are no barriers to the education of the nation's youth.
We will convert our schools into smart schools. We will include ICT and the technology so that we can create students who can compete with anyone from anywhere in the world. And that is our commitment to you, the students of St. Kitts and Nevis and the students of the Keon High.
Dr. Drew then spoke about upgrades planned for the Keon High School.
Here at the Keon High School is that your hall is too small. and you should not be standing in the sun. And I want to make the commitment that we will extend your hall so that when persons like me come to speak, you can be in a hall, sheltered, and be able to be covered. That is my commitment to the Keon High School.
As the students resumed their academic studies, Prime Minister Drew challenged them to work hard and to take advantage of the opportunities available to them.
And I encourage you to work hard. Make Keon High School the top school. Work towards that, as I would encourage all other schools to also strive for that. Take advantage of the opportunities. Respect yourself and respect your teachers. And if you want to do all those things and you work very hard, I can guarantee you that you will be a good student, a successful student, and that will give you an opportunity to be a good citizen and a successful citizen, to build a successful country.
Joining Prime Minister Drew during his visit to Keon High were Cabinet Secretary Dr. Marcus Natta and Chief Education Officer Francil Morris. Meanwhile, students and teachers of the Irishtown Primary School gathered at the Bastyr Church of God on Wednesday to mark the start of the new academic year. A ceremony was held where the students were engaged in scripture readings, prayers, and songs. The keynote speaker was Education Officer Lester Richards. During his speech, he spoke to the students about the key message that will be guiding the new academic year. Excellence is not a skill, it is an attitude.
When we talk about excellence, we're talking about you having a positive attitude, or I can do attitude. We're also talking about you willing to work to achieve your goals. So you're not just there to come to school daily to give any trouble, but more to work towards your goals. You want to be able to pass all your subjects. You want to be able to display the right behaviors. You want to be able to come first or second in your class. So that is also part of excellence. You must also show pride in your work. Appreciate what you do in your work. Show pride in your work. You must do your best. And you must also understand that you may make mistakes, but you can overcome them.
He concluded by wishing the students a successful academic year and encouraged them to keep the key message at heart.
On behalf of the Ministry of Education, I wish you the Irishtown Primary School a successful 2020 to 2023 academic year. I encourage you to keep the theme for the year at heart. Remember, excellence is not a skill, it is an attitude.
Richards and his wife then made a donation to 2 students where they were each presented a certificate and school bag. The just concluded 2-day stakeholder review of child protection and juvenile justice legislation in St. Kitts and Nevis will greatly improve the system's efficiency and effectiveness. That's according to Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Social Development and Gender Affairs, the Honorable Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, who said that the need for an urgent review of the system became apparent after meeting with the ministry's leadership on August 17.
Children, that's our priority right now, and we have a responsibility to make sure that they are protected, and we also want to do everything on a fair level. And there were some inconsistencies over the years with some of these acts, and we thought that it would be important for us, especially as a new administration, to get things right.
Dr. Hanley applauded Permanent Secretary Janelle Lewis-Tafari and her team at the Ministry of Social Development and Gender Affairs for organizing such a thorough stakeholder review in quick order. The stakeholders are focusing on the functions of the Probation and Child Welfare Board in the context of their principal legislation, the Probation and Child Welfare Board Act, and the complementary legislation, Child Justice and Child Care and Adoption. The review is facilitated by Rowan Walters, Crown counsel and legal advisor to the Probation and Child Welfare Board. Minister Hanley said UNICEF is providing support for the review process. Officials from the UN organization are participating virtually in the sessions. Additionally, the international organization has agreed to fund a consultancy to assist with the follow-up steps.
UNICEF is in fact going to send a consultant to our department to look over these acts and legislations and make sure that they are at the standard that they ought to be, and of course these will be submitted to Cabinet for Cabinet's endorsement.
Dr. Hanley thanked UNICEF for its generous support over the years and said that he looked forward to the report from the two-day stakeholder review. The workshop was held at the Early Childhood Development Conference Room. After the break, Prime Minister Drew meets with Health Ministry officials and Energy Minister issues statement on power capacity at Skelec. Stay with us.
Elevate your experience with Flow's fiber-fast internet and mobile combined. Enjoy double data and unlimited talk on 4 mobile lines. Plus up to 35 megabits per second home internet speed at the best rate, giving you the best value to stay connected. I think our Flow mobile is elevated.
You think?
An elevated experience starts with Flow at home, powering double data and unlimited talk on 4 mobile lines at the best rate. Visit a Flow store to sign up today.
Mommy, where did you get all these groceries from?
When my mom was a child, my grandma was only able to provide just what they needed. When my mom got older, she was then able to provide what they needed and some. But now, with FlexPay, I am able to get everything we need and lots more with cashback.
Wow, Mom, I hope this never ends.
For the last 25 years, SN Hospice Company Limited has given customers millions in cashback for free groceries with every hire purchase in their never-ending cashback.
Welcome back. Prime Minister and Minister of Health, the Honourable Dr. Terence Drew, met with the management team within the Ministry of Health on Tuesday, where he shared his vision and the way forward for the improvement of health care in St. Kitts and Nevis. The discussions were held at the Ministry of Health conference room at the Bladen Commercial Development. Among those in attendance at Tuesday's meeting were Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Dolores Stapleton Harris, Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Hazel Laws, Medical Chief of Staff at the JNF General Hospital, Dr. Cameron Wilkinson, and Operations Manager of Institutional Health Services, Gail Cranston, among others. Accompanying the Prime Minister at Tuesday's meeting was the Cabinet Secretary, Dr. Marcus Natta. Upon assuming office 1 month ago, Prime Minister Drew stated that one of his goals is to ensure that healthcare is vastly improved for the benefit of all citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis, and as such, his administration will introduce measures to raise the standard of healthcare delivery. One of the first steps in this regard is the procurement of a new MRI machine to be outfitted at the Joseph N. France General Hospital. Immediate plans have been approved to fund the rental of generators to expand the power generation capacity of the St. Kitts Electricity Company, Skelec. That's according to a statement issued on Wednesday by the Minister of Energy and Utilities, the Honourable Conris Maynard. In recent days, Skelec announced that load-shedding exercises have had to be conducted as generators in the fleet are down. In his statement, Minister Maynard said that Cabinet approved the rental and purchase of additional standby generators so that repairs and maintenance are conducted on other units. The minister asked that the public support, understand, and be patient as the new administration, quote, works with Skelec to address these critical issues in the short term and over the medium to long term, end quote. Plans are underway to have technicians flown in to assist with repairs. In other news, the St. Kitts Nevis Robotics Association will be heading to Geneva, Switzerland in October to compete in the first global challenge with the team's robot capturing carbon emissions in reference to the theme carbon capture. In an interview on Wednesday, team member Anthony Lee spoke about the objective of the robot in the competition.
So the challenge this year would be carbon capture, and the robot will be based on, there will be balls thrown onto the field, which will, our bot will be collecting the balls and shooting it into a tunnel that will collect our points. And one more thing is, we have this ball where we have to climb up to something. We just have to hold up there for a certain time for the point to count.
The competition is based on United Nations established global goals. One of them this year is climate change. Team member Malika Howell said she's looking forward to the competition.
This is the first time we'll be traveling in 2 years. So this is the first time the competition will actually be in person. The last two were virtual competitions. So it's a bit more exciting because you get to be back in person and you're battling in real life.
Dr. Ricardo Neal, the founder of the association, explained the significance of the competition to the island.
And then the robot now should save itself, should protect itself. And that is where the robot should be able to pull itself up and secure itself for a certain time. Now all of that you receive points for. And I like the idea because what it does, it puts you in a position to actually understand how to tackle problems and see how you can bring some kind of solution to those problems. I think it's fitting for St. Kitts and Nevis, given that we're in the Caribbean, and I think we are very prone to climatic changes. So it makes perfect sense for us to be even a part of it.
The team says they look forward to the public's usual support, even if it's only to say, "Go Team SKN." The competition takes place from October 13 to 16. And finally, on the national scene, the Office of the Premier in the Nevis Island Administration has advised that Premier of Nevis, the Honourable Mark Brantley, has travelled overseas and is scheduled to return shortly. In a notice issued on Tuesday, the NIA stated that the Premier will be off island from Wednesday, September 7 to Wednesday, September 14. In his absence, the Honourable Alexis Jeffers is acting Premier. The notice did not state the nature of the trip. Coming up in regional news, Guyana teachers complain about lack of school supplies in the classrooms. The details when we return.